I didn't come up with this idea. Lloyd Braun, who at the time was head of ABC, called me and said that he wanted to do a series about people who survive a plane crash and land on an island. And which I thought was an interesting idea, but I was like 3 days away from finishing another pilot I was writing, and I was like, okay, that's cool, And he's like, I'd like you to help me do it. And I was like, what? I'm about to finish this other thing. And he said, please, I really want to do this, and but we have a week. It was a Friday, and I was like, what do you mean? He said, we have a week. We need to greenlight this within a week if we're going to do it. And I was like, well, okay. So I knew I wouldn't do it. I mean, I knew it was impossible because it was such a short period of time. So I said, okay, well, I'll do a meeting with this guy who I kept hearing about, named Damon Lindelof. There was an executive at ABC, Heather Caden, who was a huge fan of Damon's. And so on a Monday, Damon came in. I'd never met him. And he came into my office, and I fell in love with him. Like, I was like, I couldn't believe that we hadn't met before. He had this vintage Star Wars T-shirt and, sort of even geekier glasses than mine. And he came in, and he sat down, and he was just so, he was so smart and so creative and inspiring. And we just started riffing. I mean, when you meet someone and you just kind of hit it off. And we just and I knew in minutes, I was like, we're going to do that. We're going to try to do this at least, And so we had 5 days. So I will make this as short as possible. So Jesse Alexander and Jeff Pinkner, who are two incredibly talented writers on Alias, and Brian Burke and I, Damon, started talking about what this would be. We started shaping what this pilot would be. And it was just insane because there were so many characters that we started coming up with, and it was just a lot to do in a short period. But in those 5 days, we wrote a treatment, which was about 24, 25 pages. And we turned it in on that Friday, and by that point, I was in love with it. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. Working with Damon was amazing. We were just having a blast. And I thought, well, let's just see what happens. We got a call that Saturday that they were greenlighting the pilot based on the outline, which meant we had essentially 11 and a half weeks to turn it in, the whole completed shot pilot, and we hadn't written it. And I was sitting there, watching these actors come up, and there are obviously a few, unfortunately, who aren't here tonight. But this is an extraordinary group of actors. I mean, this group of actors, it's unbelievable. And every time a name was called, I was like, oh my God, look who we get to work with. This is incredible. And to think that we, from that moment on that Saturday to the moment we started shooting, which was about 4 weeks later, actually 6 weeks later, it was incredible because April Webster, who's here, who cast the pilot, managed to assemble this group of actors.